Today, you'll learn the tiny words that subtly change how people see you, and more importantly, how you see yourself, every single time you utter them. If you sometimes feel unheard, overlooked, or simply wish your wisdom carried more weight, this isn't just a video. It's like opening a window to a fresh breeze of new confidence and respect. Before the kettle sings its cheerful tune, take a moment. Find a sticky note, or even just a scrap of paper, and write this simple yet powerful truth: my voice matters. Put it where you'll see it, perhaps on your ID badge or tucked into your wallet. This isn't vanity, sweet friend, it's freedom work. We're not about shaming or dwelling on past habits, we're about shifting, about empowering. Listen, sweetheart, it's time we have an honest, heart-to-heart conversation about some words we use almost unconsciously. Words that, while seemingly harmless, quietly chip away at our presence, our power, and the profound impact of our seasoned wisdom. Friend, let's make this easy. These are words that can keep you playing small when you've more than earned the right to stand tall, to shine brightly, and to be truly heard. You've lived, you've learned, you've loved. It's time your language reflected that incredible journey. Here's the secret to reclaiming your linguistic power. 1. The word just. Why it matters. This tiny, seemingly innocuous word is a major culprit in diminishing your voice and diluting your message. It's a verbal apology, a subtle way of shrinking yourself down, as if you're asking for permission to exist or to take up space. It softens your statements when they should carry the full weight of your conviction and experience. Think about it: when you say, "I just wanted to check in," it sounds tentative, almost apologetic for the intrusion. Compare that to the direct, clear, "I wanted to check in." The first implies you're barely significant enough to make the request. The second is a clear, confident statement of intent. This isn't vanity, my dear, it's freedom work. You are not just anything, you are a woman of substance. What to do? 1. Notice the just, asterisk, become hyper-aware of when this word creeps into your speech. It's often an automatic filler, so catching it requires conscious effort. 2. Pause and rephrase, asterisk, before you speak, take a tiny breath. If you hear just forming on your tongue, pause. Can you simply drop it? More often than not, the sentence is stronger without it. 3. Practice directness, asterisk, challenge yourself to rephrase your sentences without the diminishing word. Instead of saying, "I just wanted to share an idea," say, "I wanted to share an idea," or "I have an idea to share." Notice the shift in power. 4. 1-minute win, asterisk, for 1 minute a day, try to remove just from your internal monologue. How many justs do you catch yourself thinking? This builds awareness for your spoken words. Exact line: instead of saying, "I just wanted to share an idea," say, "I wanted to share an idea." Or, when speaking to a doctor, "I'll be brief. My top concern is this symptom. What are my options, and when do we follow up?" The clarity establishes your priorities immediately. Do this next. Last spring, Betty, a vibrant woman in her late 70s, often felt her wonderful ideas were overlooked at her community garden meetings. She'd always begin her suggestions with a hesitant, "I just think we could try planting the tomatoes over here," or "I just have a small concern about the water usage." We encouraged her to drop just. At first, it felt unnatural, almost rude to her. But slowly, she started speaking more directly. "I believe planting the tomatoes here would be more efficient," or "I have a concern about the water usage. Let's discuss options." The change was remarkable. Her ideas were suddenly taken seriously, her concerns addressed with respect. One simple change, a big shift in how she was heard. Remember to lower your voice half a tone and end your sentences downwards. This projects calm authority, not bossiness. It's about being clear, not commanding. You're not trying to intimidate, you're simply stating your truth. 2. The word sorry, when you're not at fault. Why it matters. Over-apologizing is a pervasive habit, especially among women, and it slowly erodes your confidence from the inside out. It implies fault or responsibility where there is none, forcing you to take ownership for things entirely beyond your control, or even for your mere presence. Every unnecessary sorry chips away at your self-worth, teaching others and yourself that you are inherently a burden or that your requests require an apology. This is not vanity, sweet friend, it's freedom work. You have every right to exist, to ask, to move, without constantly seeking forgiveness. What to do? 1. Assess true fault, asterisk, before sorry, tumbles out, pause, ask yourself, is anyone truly harmed? Am I genuinely responsible for this situation? Is an apology necessary, or is it merely a reflex? 2. Replace with gratitude or clarity, Asterisk often, an unneeded sorry can be gracefully replaced. Instead of sorry I'm late, if traffic was genuinely unavoidable, try thank you for waiting, I appreciate your patience. If someone bumps into asterisk you instead of oh sorry, a common reaction, you can say nothing or a firm, clear excuse me, or even pardon me. 3. Boundary setting. Asterisk learn to use no equals fence, yes equals plan to establish healthy boundaries without guilt. If someone makes an unreasonable request, you don't need to apologize for declining. A simple I can't do that is sufficient. 4. Wallet card practice. Asterisk carry a small note in your wallet that reminds you. Apologize only when truly at fault. Otherwise, use gratitude or clear statements. Look at it when you're waiting in line. Exact line, instead of sorry I'm late, traffic was awful, say, thank you for waiting, I appreciate your patience. If you're making a request instead of sorry to bother you, could you pass the salt? Simply say, please pass the salt, or would you mind passing the salt? Plans on paper survive parking lots and clear intentions survive interactions. When you're clear, others respond with respect. Friend, let's make this easy, Martha, a dear friend of mine, used to apologize for everything. Sorry to bother you, could you pass the salt? She'd whisper at dinner. Sorry, but I have a question about the meeting next week, she'd preface every inquiry. Her children, without meaning to, started treating her requests as optional, easily ignored because they were so gently offered, almost as if she were apologizing for them. We talked about this habit. She started by pausing. Then she began saying things like, please pass the salt, or I have a question about X, when would be a good time to discuss it? The change was immediate, almost shocking. Her family actually listened, responded, and respected her directness. You're not being difficult by being clear, you're being authentic and respected. One more thing. 3. The words old or aging used as negative labels for yourself. Why it matters? My dear, here's the truth, language is incredibly powerful. It doesn't just shape how others see us. It profoundly shapes how we see ourselves, influencing our subconscious beliefs and ultimately our actions. Calling yourself old or aging in a dismissive, self-deprecating way isn't just a casual comment. It closes off new experiences, dampens enthusiasm, and can create a self-fulfilling prophecy. You start to believe you're incapable of growth, innovation, or joy simply because of a number. This is a form of internalized ageism, and it limits your magnificent spirit. You might see wrinkles, but I see a map of laughter, wisdom, and resilience. What to do? 1. Recognize the negative narrative. Asterisk become acutely aware of negative self-talk about your age. Write down any self-critical age-related thoughts or phrases you catch yourself saying. Seeing them on paper can be eye-opening. 2. Reframe your perspective. Asterisk actively replace old with words that celebrate your journey. Experienced, wise, seasoned, rich with history, well-traveled. You've earned every moment, every silver hair, every laugh line. They are badges of a life well lived. 3. Embrace being a beginner. Asterisk actively seek new challenges or learning opportunities. Embrace the excitement of being a beginner again. This is a powerful antidote to feeling too old. If learning to code feels too grand, start with a 1-minute win. Watch a short tutorial on a new app or skill. If walking is too much, do 10 gentle heel raises at the kitchen sink while you wait for the kettle. 4. Connect to brain plasticity. Asterisk remind yourself that your brain is remarkably plastic and capable of learning at any age. Learning a new skill, even a small one, literally creates new neural pathways. Exact line, instead of I'm too old for that, say, this is new for me, I'm curious to learn more. Or even better, I'm experienced and ready to learn something new. What would be the first step? This shifts from a closed door to an open inquiry. Here's the secret. For years, Carol, a wonderfully curious woman, felt she couldn't try new things. I'm too old to learn coding, darling, she'd sigh, or aging is just slowing me down too much to take on anything new. She missed out on deeply connecting with her tech-savvy grandkids, who loved talking about their digital worlds. We started by reframing old to wise and experienced. We talked about how her decades of problem-solving made her uniquely suited to logical thinking. Inspired, she took an online beginner's course in a simple coding language. Now she's not only understanding her grandkids' conversations, but is coding simple games with them, creating shared joy. One profound internal change, leading to immense peace and connection. Comfort is chemistry, not luck. It comes from inside, from aligning your inner dialogue with your inherent power. Now, let's be honest. 4. The word can't. Why it matters? Can't is a self-imposed barrier, a mental block that shuts down possibilities prematurely. It's a habit we often fall into out of fear of failure, inertia, or simply not wanting to expend the effort, rather than a genuine lack of ability. This word stops you before you even truly try, often becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you say, "I can't," your brain tends to agree, and you stop looking for solutions or pathways forward. This is not vanity, my dear. It's freedom work. Your capacity for growth and adaptation is far greater than you often give it credit for. What to do? 1. Challenge the can't. Catch yourself using can't. Immediately ask, is this a true impossibility, e.g., I can't fly without a plane, or is it a perceived one, e.g., I can't learn that new app? Distinguish between can't, ability, and won't, choice. 2. Replace with inquiry or choice, instead of can't, try how can I haven't yet, but I'm curious, or I choose not to at this time. This reclaims your agency. 3. Break it down, if a whole new skill or task feels overwhelming, break it into tiny, manageable 1-minute wins. If I can't exercise today feels true, aim for just 10 heel raises at the kitchen sink. Small actions build big capabilities and rebuild your belief in can. 4. Use micro moves for specificity. When facing new technology or a complex situation, use phrases that empower you. Exact line. Instead of "I can't figure out this new app," say, "This is new for me. What are my options and when do we follow up?" Or, "I'll be brief, my top concern is understanding how this works. Could you show me the first step?" This pivots from defeat to proactive learning. My dear, here's the truth. Alina, a fiercely independent woman in her early 80s, used to struggle immensely with new technology. "I can't possibly learn to video chat, it's too complicated," she'd lament, feeling cut off from her distant grandchildren. This can't kept her isolated. We reframed it. Instead of trying to master the whole process, she focused on one button at a time. She'd say, "I'm still learning how to press join call," rather than "I can't do it." We set up a dedicated tablet, like a nightlight path for her tech journey, and her granddaughter patiently guided her. Now she not only hosts weekly video calls but also shares photos. The choice to try, even slowly and with support, opened a whole new world of connection. Muscle is armor. 10 sit-to-stands teach hips to catch you and build strength. Mental muscle works the same way. Each can build your resilience. One more thing. 5. The phrase "I'm fine." Why it matters? Consistently saying "I'm fine" when you are unequivocally not fine is a silent barrier that prevents genuine connection. It's a world-ending phrase for real conversations, training others to expect only superficial responses from you. More importantly, it prevents you from getting the support, empathy, and understanding you truly need and deserve. You teach people not to ask deeper questions, and you deny yourself the human comfort of sharing your true state. This perpetuates isolation and can mask deeper struggles, making it harder to address them. What to do? 1. Check in honestly with yourself, before you respond, take a tiny beat. How are you really feeling? Be honest with yourself first, even if you don't share it fully with others. 2. Practice brief, honest responses. You don't need to overshare, but practice offering a glimpse into your true state. "I'm having a gentle morning today, thank you for asking," or "a bit tired today but grateful for the sunshine." Even "okay, I'm awake" is more authentic than "I'm fine" if you've just woken up feeling groggy. 3. Allow support. Asking for help or simply admitting you're not fine is a sign of immense strength, not weakness. It allows others to step in, show care, and offer practical assistance or emotional solace. 4. Self-care phrase, for those moments you're truly not fine but need a gentle internal script. "Okay, I'm awake. Rest is still restorative. I'll breathe and go dim." Adapted for emotional honesty, meaning, I'm not fine, but I'm managing my feelings, acknowledging them, and choosing self-care like rest and calming breathing. Exact line, instead of a flat "I'm fine," try, "I'm navigating a bit of a tricky day, but I'm here." Or, if it's morning and you're tired, use the self-care phrase, "Okay, I'm awake. Rest is still restorative. I'll breathe and go dim." Here's the secret. Sarah always said, "I'm fine," even when she was clearly struggling with chronic pain after a fall or feeling utterly overwhelmed by household tasks. Her family, initially concerned, eventually stopped asking deep questions because "I'm fine" was the invariable answer. Last year, a health scare forced her to open up and admit she was fine at all. She started saying, "I'm feeling a little wobbly today," or "I'm getting there slowly, thank you for checking in." Her family rallied immediately. They brought meals, offered rides to appointments, and sat with her simply holding her hand. The release for Sarah was immense. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises before dawn, and a steady stream of "I'm fine" when you're not can keep it elevated. Long, slow exhales nudge the vagus nerve, which helps regulate your nervous system back to calm. Honesty, like breath, brings internal calm and external support. Do this next. If you're feeling overwhelmed, try a simple breathing exercise. In for 4, hold out for 6. Again, just breathe. Asterisk 6, the word busy, when it feels like a badge of honor or an excuse. Why it matters. Constantly claiming to be busy can glorify overcommitment, making it seem like your worth is tied to how packed your schedule is. This fuels stress, elevates cortisol, and can paradoxically make you less accessible to the people and activities that truly matter. It implies you don't have time for what's important, even for yourself, creating a sense of constant urgency and burnout. It can also be an unconscious excuse to avoid vulnerability or to decline invitations without really stating your needs. Your schedule should serve your life, not the other way around. What to do? 1. Reevaluate your schedule with intention. Ask yourself, is this activity bringing me joy, meaning, or true necessity? Or is it just filling time, driven by obligation or habit? 2. Prioritize peace, not just packed days. Actively block out time for rest, contemplation, and genuine joy in your calendar. Schedule joy like it matters because it profoundly does. This could be reading, a quiet cup of tea, a walk in nature. 3. Set clear boundaries. Use the no equals fence, yes equals plan strategy when asked to do things you don't have time or energy for. You don't need to apologize or give lengthy explanations. 4. Offer alternatives. If you can't do something entirely but want to help, offer a smaller, clear alternative. Exact line. Instead of "I'm so busy, I couldn't possibly," say, "No rush. Let's do this at a pace that feels safe." Or, "I can't do that, but I can offer e.g. I can bring dessert on Sunday," or "I can help with calls next week." Friend, let's make this easy. Maria, a wonderful grandmother, used to be constantly busy. Her calendar was packed with committees, volunteer work, and social engagements, but her joy was noticeably drained. She missed out on spontaneous visits from friends, quiet afternoons reading her favorite novels, and simply having space for herself. We worked on her boundaries and distinguishing between obligation and desire. She started saying, "I can't host the book club this year, but I'd love to join as a guest." Or, when asked to chair another committee, "I can't take on that commitment, but I can offer to help with the annual fundraiser." It felt difficult and even selfish at first, she admitted, but the result? A quieter mind, more genuine connections, and the reclamation of her own precious time. Clear scripts shorten calls and speed clean refunds for your mental energy. Slow is cheap. Rushed is expensive. Your peace is priceless. Red flags for these words are when you feel a sense of internal diminishing, resentment, or a lack of genuine connection after using them. If you hear yourself automatically saying "just" or "sorry" without truly thinking, or using "can't" to shut down a new idea, pause. That's a red flag. If "I'm fine" is your go-to, even when you're clearly not, that's a signal to dive deeper. If busy defines your entire week, it's time to reevaluate what truly matters. This is about conscious communication. It's about stepping into the full, vibrant power you've earned. Now, let's continue our journey of linguistic freedom with 6 more words to release from your vocabulary. 7. The word should and "I should have." Why it matters. The word should often carries the heavy weight of obligation, guilt, and external expectations. When you say "I should do X," it often implies that you are falling short or that you are being driven by someone else's agenda rather than your own desire. "I should have done Y" is even more insidious, trapping you in the past, fueling regret, and undermining your present choices. It's a subtle form of self-criticism, constantly reminding you of perceived failures or unfulfilled duties. You've lived long enough to know what you want and what truly serves you. What to do? 1. Identify the source. When you hear "should," ask yourself, whose should is this? Is it truly my desire, or is it an expectation from society, family, or an outdated belief? 2. Replace with choice. Reclaim your agency. Replace should with I choose to, I want to, I need to, or I will. This shifts the statement from obligation to intentional action. If it's something you genuinely don't want to do, replace it with I choose not to. 3. Future focused. Asterisk instead of dwelling on I should have, focus on what can I do now? Or what did I learn from that? 4. Sticky note reminder. Asterisk write choose, don't should on a sticky note and place it next to your My Voice Matters note. Exact line. Instead of I should really clean the attic this weekend, say I choose to organize the attic this weekend, or I want to tackle the attic on Saturday. If you genuinely don't want to, then I choose not to clean the attic this weekend. This is about aligning your words with your true intentions and respecting your own energy. Here's the secret. Eleanor, yes, our tech-savvy friend again, used to carry an invisible burden of shoulds. I should visit my sister more often. I should bake cookies for the grandkids every week. I should keep a perfectly spotless house. These internal pressures left her feeling perpetually exhausted and guilty. We talked about identifying her true desires versus external shoulds. She realized her sister preferred phone calls to spontaneous visits, and her grandkids loved her company more than her cookies. She started saying, I want to call my sister on Tuesday, or I will enjoy quality time with my grandkids. Her home became a place of comfort, not pressure. By shedding the shoulds, she embraced a life of intentional choices, which brought a profound sense of peace. Your cognitive patterns respond to the language you use. Shifting from should to choose literally rewires your brain towards autonomy and away from self-judgment. 8. The phrases I guess, sort of, maybe. Why it matters. These phrases are verbal hedges. They betray a lack of conviction, making your opinions, preferences, and contributions seem tentative and easily dismissed. When you preface an idea with I guess, or agree to something with a hesitant sort of, you invite others to question your certainty, to override your preference, or to simply ignore what you've said. You've accumulated decades of experience and wisdom. Your insights deserve to be stated with clarity and confidence, not wavering uncertainty. This isn't vanity, my dear, it's freedom work. Your preferences are valid and worth voicing. What to do? 1. State with conviction, practice stating your opinions, preferences, and answers directly and clearly. Remove the hedging words. 2. Affirm your choice, if you have a preference, own it. Instead of I guess I like the blue one, say, I prefer the blue one, or the blue one is my choice. 3. Confirm understanding. If you are unsure, ask a clarifying question rather than vaguely agreeing. Instead of I guess I understand, ask, could you clarify point X for me? 4. Sync smile practice. When brushing your teeth, look in the mirror and practice stating a simple preference clearly. I want to wear the red sweater today. Smile. This micro-practice builds confidence. Exact line, instead of I guess I could come to the party, say, yes, I'd love to come to the party, or I won't be able to make it. Instead of I sort of think that's a good idea, say, I believe that's a good idea. Friend, let's make this easy. Agnes, a gentle woman, found herself consistently overlooked in group decisions, whether it was choosing a restaurant or a travel destination. She'd always offer her suggestions with, I guess the Italian place is okay, or maybe we could go to the beach, sort of. Her ideas were always superseded by more assertive voices. We worked on directness. She started trying phrases like, I'd really enjoy the Italian restaurant, or my preference is the beach, I love the ocean air. To her surprise, people listened. They still made collective decisions, but her voice was genuinely part of the conversation. Her preferences were respected. Calm power is not about dominating, but about clearly owning your space. 9. The words eventually/someday, when used to defer action indefinitely. Why it matters. While patience is a virtue, eventually and someday can become linguistic traps that foster procrastination and allow your dreams and goals to quietly fade. When you say, someday I'll learn that new skill, or eventually I'll organize those photos, you create an indefinite future that rarely arrives. This lack of immediacy saps energy, diminishes motivation, and ultimately prevents you from experiencing the joy of pursuing what truly matters to you. Your time is precious, and your aspirations deserve your attention now, not in some vague future. What to do? 1. Set a specific date/time, replace, someday with a concrete plan. Instead of eventually I'll get to that, ask, when can I dedicate 15 minutes to this? 2. Break into tiny steps. Asterisk if a goal seems too large, break it down into 1-minute wins. Someday I'll write my memoirs becomes, today I'll write down 3 memories from my childhood. 3. Prioritize what matters. Asterisk reflect on what you truly want to accomplish. Use your energy for those some days that truly light you up. 4. The shoe test. Asterisk think of one someday goal. Could you take one tiny step towards it right now, even if it's just putting on your shoes to walk to the computer or research something? Exact line. Instead of someday I'll learn to play the piano, say, I'm researching local piano classes this week. Or, I'm going to spend 15 minutes online today looking for beginner tutorials. Make it actionable. Here's the secret. Clara, a delightful woman who loved art, always sighed, eventually I'll take up painting again. This eventually had stretched into 20 years. She loved the idea of painting, but the thought of a full class or buying all new supplies felt overwhelming. We focused on micro steps. Her someday became today, I will search for one inspiring painting online. Then, tomorrow, I will find my old watercolor set. This gradually evolved into her signing up for a virtual art workshop. Now, she spends joyful afternoons creating, having transformed her eventually into a vibrant present. She learned that even if walking is too much, doing 10 heel raises at the sink can be a start. The brain loves small, achievable victories, which build momentum and belief. 10. The word try. Why it matters. While try might seem polite or humble, it often implies a lack of full commitment, leaving room for easy failure or a half-hearted attempt. When you say, I'll try to make it, it often communicates uncertainty, making it harder for others to rely on you. In your own efforts, I'll try to finish this task can become an escape clause, allowing you to give less than your best. Your words are powerful declarations of intent. Shift from trying to doing or making a clear choice not to. What to do? 1. Commit or decline, asterisk for appointments or tasks, either commit fully, I will be there. I will complete this by X date, or politely decline, I won't be able to make it. I cannot commit to that deadline. 2. Rephrase intent, asterisk for personal goals, replace try with I am working on, I am learning to, or I am going to. 3. Asterisk honest assessment. Asterisk if you're genuinely unsure if you can do something, communicate that uncertainty directly, rather than using try as a vague promise. For instance, I'm not sure if my schedule will allow it, but I will let you know by tomorrow. 4. Pre-boarding confidence. Asterisk if you need extra time or specific accommodations, like pre-boarding on a flight, don't say, I'll try to manage. Say, may I pre-board for extra time to get settled? Exact line, instead of I'll try to make it to the gathering, say, yes, I will be there, or unfortunately, I won't be able to attend. For a task, I'm going to focus on finishing this report by noon. My dear, here's the truth, Dorothy. A woman with a kind heart often stretched herself too thin by saying, I'll try to every request. She'd try to volunteer for 3 committees, try to bake for every bake sale, and try to visit every sick friend. This left her exhausted and sometimes feeling guilty when she couldn't follow through on all her tries. We talked about the power of a clear yes or no. She learned to assess her capacity and respond with definite commitments or polite declines. When asked to lead the fundraising committee, she thoughtfully replied, I can't take on the full leadership role, but I can offer to manage the silent auction. This clear boundary allowed her to contribute meaningfully without burnout. She stopped trying to do everything and started choosing what she could truly accomplish with joy. 11. The word but. Why it matters. The word but is a linguistic eraser. It negates everything that came before it. When you say, that's a good idea, but, you've effectively dismissed the good idea. It creates an adversarial tone, setting up a contradiction rather than a collaboration. This can make people feel unheard or devalued, even if your intention is to offer a different perspective. You can offer counterpoints, express concerns, or introduce new information without undermining your initial acknowledgement or agreement. What to do? 1. Replace with and, asterisk often, a simple and can replace, but turning a contradiction into a connection. That's a good idea, and we also need to consider the budget. 2. Rephrase to connect, Asterisk, if you need to express a reservation, rephrase the sentence to connect your thoughts rather than contradict them. While that's a good idea, I'm concerned about X. 3. Acknowledge first. Asterisk, always start by acknowledging the other person's point before introducing your own. 4. Money checkout micromove. Asterisk, at the checkout, practice this clarity. Say the total. I tap once. If it fails, void before a second. This uses clear, decisive language without buts to ensure a smooth transaction. Exact line, instead of I agree with you, but I think we should do X, say, I agree with your point, and I also believe X is an important consideration. Or, your idea is strong, and I have an alternative perspective to share. Friend, let's make this easy. Florence, a respected leader in her quilting guild, often unintentionally shut down conversations. She'd say, that's a beautiful fabric choice, but it won't work for this pattern. Members started to feel their creativity was stifled. We discussed the impact of but. She started shifting her language. Instead, she'd say, that's a beautiful fabric choice, and for this pattern we might explore how it lays with a different grain. Or, I appreciate that suggestion, and I'd like to present an alternative for us to consider. The meetings became more collaborative, and members felt more encouraged to share their ideas, knowing they would be heard and built upon, not immediately negated. This isn't about avoiding disagreement, it's about fostering respectful dialogue. 12. The phrases just kidding, I'm only joking, after a serious point. Why it matters. These phrases are often used to retract vulnerability, soften a strong opinion, or avoid potential confrontation after you've expressed something meaningful. When you share a heartfelt sentiment, a critical insight, or a firm boundary, and then immediately follow it with just kidding, you diminish the validity of your own statement. You teach others that your serious thoughts are not to be taken seriously, and you deny yourself the opportunity to stand firm in your truth. Your insights and feelings are valuable and deserve to be expressed authentically without immediate retraction. What to do? 1. Own your truth. Asterisk, if you've said something you mean, let it stand. Trust that your listener can handle your honesty. 2. Clarify, don't retract. Asterisk, if you feel the need to soften or explain, do so with clarification, not retraction. For example, that came out stronger than I intended, but I do feel strongly about it. 3. Practice vulnerable honesty. Asterisk, practice expressing your feelings or opinions directly and then resisting the urge to lighten the mood with a just kidding. Sit in the slight discomfort. It's a sign of growth. 4. Nightlight path for emotions. Asterisk, imagine your emotions as a path. Don't hide them in the dark. Illuminate them with honest, clear words. Exact line, if you've stated a firm boundary like, I won't be able to host this year, let that statement stand. If you've shared a personal feeling, like, I've been feeling quite lonely lately, allow that vulnerability to exist without a self-deprecating follow-up. Here's the secret. Margaret, a witty woman, often used humor as a shield. She'd share a profound insight in a group discussion or express a genuine hurt to a friend, then quickly add, oh, I'm only joking, or just kidding. This made it difficult for others to gauge her true feelings or to engage with her on a deeper level. We worked on acknowledging her own emotional courage. When she shared a vulnerability, she would practice pausing, breathing, and allowing the statement to simply exist. She started saying things like, that's how I honestly feel, or this is important to me. Gradually, her relationships deepened, and she felt a profound sense of authenticity. Your serious thoughts, dear friend, deserve to be heard, not hidden behind a joke. Your voice matters, truly. My dear, here's the truth. This journey is not about achieving linguistic perfection overnight. It's about conscious communication, about making intentional choices with the words you speak. It's about recognizing the subtle ways language can either build you up or subtly diminish your incredible presence. It's about stepping into the full, vibrant power, wisdom, and dignity you've earned through decades of living, loving, and learning. This is not vanity, it's freedom work. So, make your paths safe with clear statements. Practice small balance every day in your steps and in your words. Schedule joy like it matters, and speak your truth like it's the most valuable thing you possess, because it is. I'm cheering for you, my friend, every step of the way. This is not vanity, it's freedom work. Which 2 habits from these 12 words will you start consciously shifting today for yourself?